Oh my, Alex Karp, let's rip. Alex Karp drops the mic. I don't even know what to say, but he is on top form. This is a juicy one.
Directly, though, because people talk about surveillance. They immediately say surveillance, Palantir, that you are helping the U.S. government in a massive surveillance program, given the amount of data that's coming in from all sorts of different agencies now.
First thing, before I will absolutely get to that, the biggest misconception about Palantir is none of this. Palantir is an absolute dominant juggernaut in U.S. commercial and AI. Our revenue grew 121%. The most important metric in enterprise software, we have the highest number ever recorded. It's well over 2x any number that would be highly respectable. So we're like the Michael Jordan on the numbers in U.S. commercial. And that really pisses a lot of people off. That's true. Most of our money, 75% of our revenue comes from America. That's growing 77%. And most of our market cap comes from that. So, we are just crushing it in the most meritocratic environment in the world, U.S. commercial. Okay, so the surveillance stuff, of course, there's the Pollyannish version of it, which is like our product can never be abused. What is true is that we are highly ethical, but don't believe us on that. We are obviously not building a database. The most absurd one is we've built a database in Israel we're bringing here. Okay, that is complete nuts. First of all, we were in this country from the very beginning, and second of all, you don't need us to build a database. That's like, I have a ruler a ruler and a pencil so I can do math. Oh, I got a calculator. So it's just, that's like you're selling your people like corn syrup, cornflakes or something. Okay, so you get to the big issue. Are we building a database that can be used for surveillance? No. Okay, but the more subtle version is if you're legally surveilled, we don't even really work heavily with the FBI or DOJ. Could you put it in our product? Yes. Are our enemies surveilled using data that goes into our product? 100%, and I completely support that. The most interesting thing about the lie that we are doing this is not that our product couldn't be abused. Any workable technology that's ever been built has been abused. Electricity has been abused. Gasoline engines have been abused. Okay, but our product is the single hardest product in the world to abuse because every single step that you take is absolutely transparent. So if you want to use our product to abuse human rights, you've created a record of you doing it. I can tell you, and this is the part where you can get into the low trust environment and you don't have to believe me. The environments that abuse data in this world, mostly SIGINT, meaning from satellites, have never liked our product. And we were the first place to act, we are the first, and to my extent, to my knowledge, only company that said we're not going to work in Russia, we're not going to work in China. And by the way, on the issue everyone would think, because they somehow think I'm only care about, we were the first company to say we would not build a Muslim database, and we ended contracts in this country with institutions that were essentially there to surveil Muslim Americans. And the primary reason for these attacks is on the far left, people are like, they do not like us because we stand for meritocracy. We hire and promote independent of all variables. We stand for the rule of law. We stand for competence. And we call out the complete bullshit that there's. Okay, on the far right, they don't like us because they think I'm somehow a Jewish conspiracy because 2 of the 4 or 5 co-founders are Jewish. I'm like, okay, great. A lot of Jews are successful. It's not all conspiracy. It is a fact. Those are just the facts.
Palantir is posting growth numbers that are practically impossible for a company of their size, proving they have evolved far beyond just being a government contractor. To understand why Karp is calling this the Michael Jordan of numbers, you have to look at how software is usually sold. Traditionally, a software company hires an army of salespeople in expensive suits. They take executives out to steak dinners, show them fancy PowerPoints, and promise them the software will work eventually. It takes 6 months to sign a deal and another year to set it up. Palantir realized that this was broken. They fired the suits and replaced them with bootcamps. A bootcamp is a 5-day workshop where Palantir engineers plug into the customer's messy data and solve a real problem live. They don't tell you the software works. In fact, they just show you that it works. This is doing an absolutely phenomenal job at converting customers, and this is why US commercial revenue is exploding by 121%. They are completely bypassing the usual sales game. It is the difference between looking at a brochure for a Ferrari and actually driving one on the racetrack for a whole week. Once a CEO sees that Palantir can save them millions of dollars in just a few days, they can't go back to the old ways. And this is why Alex is so confident, because he knows the commercial juggernaut he is building is running on pure results and not steak dinners and presentations selling dreams. But even with that money rolling in, Alex knows the biggest shadow hanging over Palantir is the fear of surveillance, and his defense is surprisingly technical. The media has the story completely backwards. Palantir actually creates safety by making sure every single human action is permanently visible and impossible to erase. Alex claims that their product is the hardest to abuse because of transparency, and he's referring to one of Palantir's core privacy features called immutable audit logs. And in computer security, immutable means cannot be changed. Unlike a normal spreadsheet or Excel or something where a bad actor can delete a row to hide their tracks, Palantir records every single click, search, and export. If an agent looks up a name they shouldn't, that action is burned into the digital record forever. Think of a standard police database like a dusty filing cabinet. If a corrupt officer sneaks in at night, opens a drawer, and reads a file, nobody knows. There is no record. Palantir is different. It's like a filing cabinet made of glass sitting in the middle of the room, filled with security cameras that never run out of tape. Every time you touch a file, the system prints a permanent receipt that says, Officer Smith looked at file A at 2:04 p.m. Even the system administrators cannot delete these receipts. This creates a feature called checkpoints, which acts like a digital chaperone. If you try to do something sensitive, like export a list of names or search for specific religious groups, the system knows about it and can even freeze. It demands that you type in a justification. Why do you need this? That excuse is saved and sent to an oversight officer. This explains why Dr. Karp is so angry about the Muslim registry accusations. He knows that if any government agency tried to build an illegal registry inside Palantir, the software itself would create a massive, undeletable paper trail exposing them. Paradoxically, the software people fear the most is actually the only software that spies on the spies to keep them honest. Bad actors hate Palantir because it forces them to follow the rules. If you want to go from AI is confusing to feeling confident and understanding it, I built a course that is built for you. It breaks down the essentials, then covers things like compute, hardware, and how AI actually works in the real world. If you sign up, you get lifetime access, and because I'm expanding the course over time, the price will also go up over time, so now is the best time to join. YouTube isn't just entertainment, it's one of the best client acquisition tools because it builds trust at scale. We've helped businesses grow from scratch to a $100,000 a month just by launching them a YouTube channel. Book a call with me below and let's see how YouTube could help your business scale.